Hello, Cancer. Thank you so much for being here with me again. All right, you guys. So this week from Lay Vampire, you pulled Nightmare, Psychic Protection, Shield, and Bad Dreams. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled Perfection. Now, Nightmare really does show that somebody's been through a nightmare phase in their life, but this card is really heralding like the end of that. It's saying that, that protection is going to be there for you now. No more sleepless nights and bad dreams. But you come out of this seeking perfection, and that's a little bit of a worry. Now, perfection, the very first quote for that says that you have the same high standards for yourself as you do for others. So there's like a need to be careful about being too hard on yourself and also other people. Now, the card at a glance says that this card indicates protection and an inner conflict between wanting to look good and having compassion for others. Remain kind and unattached to an outcome. Being right and letting others know that you are right may not support the understanding you desire. But, I get it. I get it. Coming out of a nightmare phase and then seeking perfection, it makes sense. Here we go. Here's your overall for the week. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, we get it. We get it. The Lovers. The Lovers is a signifier, right? Gemini. They have such a beautiful card. Kills me. So the Lovers. Now, because you have the Two of Cups fall out, we could definitely be talking about a very important relationship here, and this could be about a marriage. But with the Lovers, it's also about the major choices that you're making, especially in terms of a relationship. Oh boy, here we go. So now in the past, you have Judgment. Jeez. So Judgment. This to me is saying that as far as your past goes, you're okay with the past. Judgment scares me, and it's just one of those things where, I don't like the idea of going through the review. But really, it's about making amends, right? Making amends with the past, making amends with who you were. It is the rebirth of a relationship for some of you. And this new start, but in a really big way. Oh my goodness, in the present, the Queen of Swords. So, the problem then becomes, if this is representing you with the Queen of Swords, it's suggesting that there may have been some difficulties in the past. Are you really okay with it though? With Judgment being above this, because you should have came in as, a different court card here if there weren't still issues with the past, because that is the Queen of Swords, right? This is somebody who's been through some stuff and she's not taking any shit. So, I think for some of you, this is either you or the person you're dealing with here that is going to have some issues. They're dealing with some stuff. I think in the past you're trying to get past that, and we're working on this once again. But somebody here has got some stuff going on that they may be dealing with. And I still feel like there's support. I don't feel like this is a situation where there's going to be massive problems or a breakup. But we could be talking about, like I said, either you or another person here that is dealing with difficulties. And again, with the Queen of Swords, right, air signs. And you have Gemini right there, but, Libra and Aquarius. But, you guys know me. I pay more attention to the personality of the court card than the sign. But still, it's well, what the hell, And then not only that, but then I wonder if, you have a partner that's facing, their own judgment. Or possibly the judgment of others. Or if the relationship is being, judged, whether that's accurately or not. My goodness. Future conditions, the Three of Cups. So, again, I was talking about support. I don't really see this as a bad thing. The Three of Cups, it can definitely suggest, especially with the difficulty of the Queen of Swords, that there may be other people that could be causing problems, but I don't want to call it just yet. Now, normally the Three of Cups is about the support system. The people that actually give a shit about what is happening with you. And then it's having the support that you need as far as, people go, and is supporting your relationship and the choices that you're making, especially if you have somebody or yourself that is dealing with difficulties. But we'll see. Like I'm on the fence about it. Oh my god. Jeez. Oh my goodness. Your best path to follow, justice. I don't see this as a need for a divorce. I don't. I feel more so that wrongs need to be corrected, things need to be fair and balanced out. And that's it. Because again, this is the advice position here, you know. Oh my goodness. Okay. So now with justice, right? Have fair and balanced decisions. The amendment of wrongs. And it could be that, you know, we're needing to fix an issue here that's either going on with you or another person or people that are involved, possibly. Oh my goodness. You know, and for some of you, I mean, it could like literally mean marriage though too. But I don't feel divorce. If that were the case, I would have expected to see like, you know, the Ten of Swords or death or something in the first 3 pulls, but we're not seeing that. You know, and again, you had the Two of Cups fall out. In your environment, the Six of Pentacles. I'm so sorry, you guys, it's damn cold. So this being in your environment. And again, going back to the difficulty of the Queen of Swords, you know, this may be somebody here that is going to need some assistance. Now, with the Six of Pentacles, it does talk about charity, but it doesn't necessarily have to be money, you know. And then not only that, but you have the scales right next to each other. So it's like, right, things needing to be fair and balanced out here, right? Like if you're going to put in the effort, you need to have it equal on the other side as well. You know, but I get the feeling that, you know, the reason why the support thing is coming up and why I felt like with the Two of Cups that, you know, there's still that connection and, you know, the importance of the relationship. It's like somebody is dealing with difficulties here and they need assistance, you know, and it's either you or the other person here. Wow. Your hopes and your fears. The Three of Pentacles. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. The Three of Pentacles is really about, again, the effort that's being put through here. Now, normally when I look at the Three of Pentacles, when we're talking about relationship readings, it's really about you and the other person working together to get to a goal, right? It's saying that there is, you know, equal partnership here as far as effort that's being put through. And, you know, here again with the Six of Pentacles. And I feel like for some of you, it's almost like hoping that this continues. Like it doesn't, you know, stop where it's just you now and the other person has fallen off. Like they're not working with you anymore. But man, you know, and then the 3 energy here. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness, the Two of Swords. Why? Why? Now, what I worry about in terms of you is that you may be ignoring a situation or you're not really able to, you know, make the difficult choice here to give assistance to somebody who may need it, especially for those of you in a relationship, you know, and man, I have to look at this. And then not only that, but, you know, it's like needing to make the choice here, especially if you do have people that are causing problems, to, you know, not give it the attention that it deserves. You know, I don't necessarily see cheating or need for a divorce or anything like that, you know, or breakups, none of that. With the Page of Pentacles, I feel like, you know, first of all, there's still a willingness here to, you know, do the work that's necessary, right, to get things going. You know, the Page of Pentacles is one of those cards where it can speak to somebody wanting to make something reality, right? Taking their ideas and, you know, looking at what is practical and what is attainable and wanting to work at something and get something started and get it going. With the Three of Swords here, though, I worry because it can suggest that either you or another person here has been through this, the heartbreak, right? And the choice is whether or not, you know, we work past this, you know, and again, you have judgment coming through. Are you really okay with the difficulties? You know, have you really made amends with this and done the forgiving and whatever, right? But what bothers me here is the Queen of Cups coming out. Now, you know, in terms of Cancer, this could definitely show that there is too much emotional attachment to the pain. Now, as far as, oh boy, third party situations, like I can't deny that can be the case for some of you. And it's really about whether or not you're willing to get past this here and start pulling on, this emotional support here with the Queen of Cups. Man, Cancer, what in the world? And that can point back to the whole nightmare phase too. And now we're coming out of it, but it's whether or not you can make the choice here to let go of the heartbreaking situations, or, the other people that may have been involved. How emotionally attached are you to, the problem of the Three of Swords? My goodness. But perfection worries me a little bit now looking at this, right? Like, you don't want to be too hard on the other person. If we're trying to give things a go here, with Judgment coming through, it's you have to let it go. The past is the past. We've got to move on and make an effort. Oh, it's shit like this, I swear to God, that just blows me away. All right, first of all, psychic knowing, right? Paying attention to that intuition in your psychic knowing, and knowing that it is time for you to live from your heart and let love in. Especially if this is an important relationship and you want things to work, and despite the fact that you may have been dealing with difficult situations. Because I really think that with Judgment, first of all, kicking this off, it's saying that it's really about the rebirth of a relationship for some of you, and about needing to be okay with past situations. Even if you have people coming back through who possibly might have the cackling hen syndrome, right? Do you really want to stay in this position of, the Two of Swords and being at that stalemate, right? It's time to start living from your heart and bringing that love back in. Act as if your partner is here, whether you have someone in your life or not. Act as if they are with you, so you will always consider them. This is one of those things where if you're at a distance from your partner, right, rather than doing things that you may regret, it's really saying that you need to keep them in your thoughts, right? But then also, this is one of the cards that points to the fact that maybe your partner is at a distance and it's beyond both of your control, right? Like for work or something else. But, for those of you who are single, right, it's really about acting as if the right partner is there with you so that you can attract that into your life. But to me, it's almost saying it's a reminder here, always act like your partner is with you. And then appreciate this moment. Each and every situation has an opportunity to grow and find love. There you go. Wow. Cancer. Okay, so, really, I feel like with perfection, if you're setting some higher standards here, and especially in terms of your relationship with Justice being here, just be careful with that, right? If somebody is wanting to make amends, you have to allow that. And I think that, with the Six of Pentacles being there too, it's going to be up to you to be there to give to this relationship, but not just you, the other person though too, right? But just be careful, Cancer, too, about staying at the stalemate. All right, Cancer, so I do think that I'm talking to those of you who are looking at a very important relationship here, possibly marriage for some of you. But with Judgment kicking this off, I really do think it's about whether or not, you and the other person can get over what may have happened in the past. Because it is about the rebirth here for an important relationship for some of you. Now, it looks like coming through here, somebody may not be too receptive of this. And it may be because, and I hate this, that there are other people here that are still lingering and causing problems as far as the relationship goes. I am still hoping, though, that is the support group for some of you. Now, with Justice being the best path to follow, yeah, it is about allowing somebody to make amends here, because the way it comes out, yeah, and it's really about whether or not you're going to make the choice here to get things going. Because, it really does look like there's a want here to rebuild this and get things started again, and it lines up as far as the Three of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles go, hoping that both people here are going to put in the effort and it's not a one-sided situation. Now the problem though is is the damn Three of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Now, with the Three of Swords, I do think that this is speaking to, a heartbreaking situation here that you're trying to work past or trying to forgive, and a lot of that is because of justice and judgment. But with the Queen of Cups, what I worry about is the emotional attachment to the pain, especially, for you guys that are having difficulty on whether or not you really want to do this. Now, for some of you, you could just be dealing with a partner here that is having a lot of issues, and it's whether or not you want to really help them through it. But I really think that this is about the decision on whether or not to forgive some issues that may have happened, because you are definitely coming out of a nightmare phase looking at the outcome here. But perfection, I understand. But, again, you don't want to be too hard on the other person. It's okay to set higher standards, especially if you've been through that situation with the Three of Swords. But you don't want to be too hard on them. Now, psychically, you know what you need to do. You need to start living from your heart here and letting love back in, right? And really, it's about paying attention to your intuition, though, too. As far as, accepting the fact that maybe somebody is trying to make amends and that they're, wanting to get to forgiveness and, letting you know that it's not ever going to happen again. I kind of feel like that. But definitely live from your heart and bring love back in. Because I'm telling you, with the Lovers being front and center, this is something that is important. Now, act as if your partner is here and appreciate this moment. Every moment has an opportunity for you to learn and grow from, especially within relationships where mistakes may have been made. But always consider your partner with everything that you do. Because again, Cancer, this looks like for some of you, this is something that's really important to you.